To Casa, mi casa. I used to get the saying wrong, and then a friend of mine who's Colombian said that's not right, and I still can't remember what the actual saying is. I think it's mi casa tu casa. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. But I stick with tu casa, mi casa because of a little psychological, philosophical element. When I go into people's spaces, especially when it comes to shooting, I don't want to be an outsider coming in. I want to feel like I own the space. And I don't mean that as like a possessive person. I want to feel like I know the space. And by knowing the space, I need to make sure that I'm comfortable. And where are you comfortable? You're comfortable in your own home. So yeah, it's something I've been practicing, not just in photography, but a lot of, in professional settings as well. I'm confident in who I am, and if I'm not sure about something, I'll put my hand up and figure it out. But that shouldn't be a reason to then feel uncomfortable when you go into new spaces. Obviously, there's a little bit of you get a little bit of nerves. That's completely normal. But going in with the mindset, I'm like, this is my space now. I'm making sure that I'm the most comfortable here, so that the people around me get the real me, because that's not going to be beneficial to anyone. They're not going to get, if they're if they're judging who I am as a character and they don't get a real representation because I'm in my head about possibilities of insecurities, and that's not going to be useful for them. It's not going to make me feel good. So I go in with the intention of just making myself feel most at home. And I started thinking about this a lot. One of my mates, he is the best at this. He just comes in, and without owning the space and being a piece of shit, he just gets comfortable. And I just remember one time he came over and just like dropped on our couch and just laid down. I was like, man, I was mad. I was happy. I'm like, man, he's comfy. And then he takes that element everywhere he goes. When he goes into work, when he's meeting whoever, he makes sure he's comfortable at no expense. At no expense? Maybe. My point is, I was inspired by this. And I raised it to him, like, mate, wherever you go, you're comfortable. He's like, yeah. And that's the key. If you're not comfortable, you're not gonna give the best you. You're not yourself when you're hungry, is basically what I'm getting at. And as much as I'd like this place to be sponsored by Snickers, it's not. It's probably one of the best, but we'll leave it there. Bringing it back to photography though, there is an element that you need to have confidence in when you're going into spaces. You don't want any social anxieties. You don't want any stresses about what can happen outside of your realm. And it's much less likely that things are going wrong inside your house, because you generally have control over what's happening. If you're at someone else's space, you don't know the lay of the land, you don't know where everything is, you feel rude asking for something, and then it creates these barriers in your brain that stop you from doing what you need to do. So I just want to raise it and give a little insight into how I try to operate in all spaces, and it's become really, really helpful with photography. So yeah, maybe it's a tool you could use. Tu casa, mi casa.